Lesson 4, a fisherman's rib or English rib. Let's go with fisherman's rib. Welcome to day 4. We are going to do fisherman's rib, also known as English rib. It is described as a 1x1 rib with a knit side plain stitch, but ribber side is a tuck stitch. So what we need to do is we need to do the selvage for 1x1, and then we will do a little bit of play with the P function on our ribber. So let's get that set up and get that going. I'm set up for 1x1. I'm in star, 0. Got my thread in. Everybody's knitting. Knitting across, clipping. Putting in my comb. Close to center as I can get it. Okay. There we go. Sure we're not catching on anything. Okay, nope, we're not caught on anything. Okay, it's just like before. This is extremely small sample, so we only need 2 small weights. Putting them at 15 and 15. Resetting my row counter from yesterday's fun. Now we do our selvage that we have always been doing. And doesn't say to move our carriages tensions. So I'm going to put the ribber on 0, keep the main on 0. Knit the selvage and then change. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is where the change happens. So at this point, we go to 2, 2. Take off all knitting on the, well, all part knitting, so we go back into normal knitting on the main carriage. We now get to play with the P function and PR on the ribber. Again, we're in tension 2 and 2. We're at 1. This is in normal. No other changes are made on our beds. We do need to make sure that we have a couple 7 weights on the edge of our knitting. Let me see if I can find another one of my 7s here. Okay, so I have 2 different kinds of 7s, but they do the same function. So what it wants me to do is to make sure that I put a 7 weight on both sides. So there's my little weights here. So I put the 7 weight in behind, up and into it. Now there's not a lot of room to play in behind the machine with the cast on comb on there. But you make do to make it work, right? And now we knit. So let's back that up. So 20 rows, I guess. And then we will do a full fisherman's rib next. So let's do 20 rows, see what happens. So everything knit that way. And now what you see is on the ribber, it just left a loop, it didn't knit them off. Okay, so that's 20 rows of half fisherman's rib. We are now going to change our ribber to R, take it out of PR. Nothing is happening on here. I'm going to knit 2 rows, and then we are going to go right into full fisherman's rib. Everything's knit. Everything's knit. This is now a dividing line for the next stage. So let's just pretend that we did the salvage all over again. We have our 7 weights. We're going to move them up for this. And then we will do the big change between these 2 beds. Okay, 7 weights engaged. Come out between the beds. 7 weights engaged. Okay, so the big change between half fisherman's rib and full fisherman's rib. We are going tuck, part, part. That's the big change. If you didn't see that, we just put one side in tuck, and it is going to tuck, going to the left, it is going to knit, going to the right, and the ribber is the opposite. So there you see it left loops on top. Now it left loops on the bottom, and it knit on the top. We're going to do another 20 rows. Okay, what's next? Okay, next up is to rack it. So we're going to do a dividing line again. One, two, reset our row counter. Okay, let's pretend that is our salvage. We are still going to move our 7 weights up. Okay, 7 weights are up. After knitting the selvage, swing the ribber half pitch right to H3. H3. All right. Racked pattern knitting. Set the carriage as shown in the figure. Okay, so the main is in plain, nothing special. Ribbers in P, This time PR is on the right hand side and we are still in 1. Move the connected carriage from right to left. The plain needles knit and the purl needles have 2 loops on each of their hooks. So now we knit across. And that is exactly what it shows. Now it says set the racking indicator to H2 and knit 2 rows. So H2, 1, 2, 2 clicks, knit 2 rows. So left to right, right to left. 1, 2. Set the racking indicator back to H3. 1, 2. Knit 2 rows. 1, 2. Back to 2, I think. Let's see. Yep, back to 2. 1, 2. Back to 3. 1, 2. Back to 2. Back to 3. Back to 2. Back to 3. Back to 2. Back to 3. 1, 2. Now we're going to go to 3, pitch, take off all patterning, and we're going to knit the separation rows. So 2 rows. 1, 2. Let's do a third one just to have it on the side that I like. We're now going to cut the yarn, put it in the holder, drop the yarn, take off all weights, including the ones on the 7 weights. Those also hurt your toes. Now we're going to drop it. Okay, so let's look at the beautiful work that we have. So this is the purl side of all 3 methods. This is the knit side. Purl side, sorry, knit side. Let's take it off the comb. Put the comb to the side. Take up our clip. So this is what it does when it's off the machine. You can see the loops and the straight stitching. This does the same on both sides. And the wrapped one, you can't beat how beautiful that looks for a sweater. As for the half fisherman's rib, try it for a cuff on a sweater, and it'll be hard for you to go back to just doing 1 by 1 ribbing, if that makes any sense. Try it, you'll like it. Lesson 5 will be the wrapped patterns.